My son sees the movie, and this is my version of it. I imagine him in the lobby of the theater
Yeah.
after the movie, talking to me on the phone, going, "Dad, he's got your mannerisms, he's got your speech patterns."
Yeah.
And then where he dropped me to the floor is he goes, "Dad, he's got your heart."
That's
I'm
awesome.
like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, just broke me down on the spot.
All right. We are here live from San Francisco with a very special guest, UFC champion, Mark Kerr. How you doing today, man?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for jumping on. I actually wanted to start with Datavault AI.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh my
I saw
gosh,
the show.
yeah.
Let's kick it off there. Tell us a little bit about it and kind of what your role is.
Okay, so Datavault AI partnered with them last year. They've developed they're in partnership with Sports Illustrated to develop an exchange for NIL, name, image, and likeness for athletes. I always refer back to my story, right? Like when I wrestled at Syracuse and when I fought in the UFC and other, I never had the ability to monetize my name, image, or likeness. Somebody else did.
Yeah.
And I didn't get any of it.
No.
And so, it's part of where I am now is really focusing on allowing individuals to take back some of their ownership of that stuff and to capitalize and make money on it themselves.
Yeah. Is it does it have a focus around combat sports, like you said, wrestling? Is it focused or is it everything?
So here's what's great is they partnered with NFL Alumni Health.
Nice. Yeah.
That was last year. And so part of that's a whole tapped ecosystem, untapped ecosystem, right? Like retired players, there's some in good spots, some in bad spots, and it just gives them the ability to take control of their digital assets, put it on an exchange, and then monetize it.
That's awesome.
Which is huge.
Yeah, that's huge.
You imagine how many retired NFL players are out there that know their sweat, blood, and tears went into being a player, and they're still getting nothing from it.
Yeah. Is there for example, for you, what are some things that maybe that you wouldn't have had?
I look at it just simple things. I mean, realistically, Facebook, they've made billions of dollars off of your information, my information, right? They have. It's
100%.
just the reality.
That is a fact.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
Like I joke with people, I go, where it says terms and conditions?
Yes.
That thing you scroll to the bottom
that no one
of,
reads.
That one that no one
that's
reads,
where they got you.
That's where they got
exactly.
you.
Yeah.
So in a bigger picture, looking at where I was fighting, every time I stepped in the ring, I had to monetize that because I didn't know if I had 10 fights in me. I didn't know if I had 30 fights. I didn't know if I had 100 fights. But each time you step in the ring, you have to be prepared to make the maximum amount of dollar amount, and it would have changed that whole equation for me.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's where oh my gosh, somebody could have said, hey, listen, I want to sponsor you, I want to do this, got on the exchange, go ahead and everything's validated with it. Electronic contract is tied to blockchain. It's proprietary stuff. It's really, really cool stuff. Yeah. And it gives the ability back to the individual. It really does.
And especially like you mentioned, in a sport like UFC where you don't know when your last fight is.
No.
And the time span for that is so short.
Yep.
To have something like this is huge. So it's awesome that you guys are doing that.
It's big. And again, thankfully I'm in a position right now where I can work with companies and organizations that actually really want to give ownership back to the individual and empower the individual.
That's great.
Where I have my own destiny in front of me.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, listen, full disclosure. All right. I'm not a huge UFC guy.
Yeah.
But I am a huge movie guy. All right.
Oh my God,
and
that's awesome.
You were just your story was just in the smashing machine starting Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Can you tell us a little bit about that process? And was there anything that they either had exaggerated or left out?
Yeah. Oh my God. So originally, the Smashing Machine was a documentary back in 2002.
Yeah.
HBO had aired it as part of their American Undercover series. And then in 2019, Dwayne's people reached out and said, hey, he wants to do this as a movie. And so you look at what happened, 2019, that was the fall of 2019. He made the announcement in November, and then pandemic.
Yeah.
Then writers strike.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything just got shelved.
Yeah.
And so I had pushed it aside like it was never going to happen.
Yeah.
So 4 years went by. And then I reached out to his agent in like October 2023.
Yeah.
And he goes, "You need to talk to Dwayne." And so I ended up having a conversation with Dwayne, and that was like, "Hey, listen," not understanding that like for a month he's had 300 people working their asses off to make the schedule for him to get things in place.
That in play. Yeah.
And so the whole experience was incredible. I mean, they had from Dwayne to Emily to Benny to the producer Dave Copeland, everybody had a real like a tremendous amount of respect for it because it's a biopic, but I'm still alive.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah.
You know, so that's what Dwayne would say. You go like, "We're being real careful."
Yeah. Because like literally, you could yourself judge it. Like you're like, wait, is he doing? What would you say about his performance specifically? I mean, I thought I'm a big Dwayne the Rock Johnson guy. I got to show you. Actually, I got to show you this picture because this was from the. I went to the premiere, the early premiere.
Oh my God, that is awesome.
I had to pop a little bald cap on.
Oh my God.
So I'm a huge fan of his. So obviously I went to the movie and then I thought he was great. And then I was like, man, like meeting you in person, I'm like, well, now I know why they got the Rock. You're a big dude, man.
Oh my God, man. So the whole confirmation, like, because I was so close to it through the whole process that like I wanted to make sure I wasn't drinking the Kool-Aid. Right. Like, because I go, oh man, he did a great job, right? So. Last summer, before it aired, before it premiered, they flew my son out to New York with my ex-wife to see the movie. Dwayne flew out, Emily was there, Benny was there. So my son sees the movie, and this is my version of it. I imagine him in the lobby of the theater after the movie, talking to me on the phone, going, "Dad, he's got your mannerisms, he's got your speech patterns." And then where he dropped me to the floor is he goes, "Dad, he's got your heart."
That's awesome.
I'm like, oh. Yeah. I'm like, dude, like just like broke me down on the spot. Like, wow. I go, okay, maybe I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Listen, that's awesome. And it's like, I can imagine you watching your story unfold has got to be a completely different experience. Like, you are somebody who's gone through a lot of highs, champion, also someone who has struggled, right? And some low lows. Firstly, you seem to be doing well. Like you seem to be doing great. So that's first.
It's one where like 7 years ago, and I've told this story before. I was drinking a lot, and my son had come to me. My mom passed away in 1996, September 3rd, and so that day, I'll never forget this. That day, my son goes, "Hey, Dad, I know your mom passed away this day. I know you need a drink." And he said, "Would you stop tomorrow?" And at the time, I just thought it was an empty promise. Like, yeah, just leave me alone, right? And I said, yeah. And so September 4th, and I had drank probably every day for 10 years. Yeah. And September 4th, I'm like, okay, I'll try it. And it was that one day.
Wow.
And then it was like, okay, I'm going to see if I can make it another day. Another day. And it was 7 years ago.
What I mean, that story of, again, helping yourself and getting, essentially clean. What do you want people to take from that? And like for people that are struggling, like anything that you can provide, any tips?
The biggest thing to take away, I'm not in it alone. Yeah. There's other people out there that's
very important.
Because what happens is you get locked in this. For me, I got locked in the box of this shame. And guilt. That like, oh my God, I can't believe, as a world-class athlete, like, what is happening? Like, why can't I get control of this? And understanding that addiction it's a disease. Yeah. It has a pathology, it has a beginning, middle, and an end, right? And with alcohol, usually it's the beginning, drink it, enjoy it. The middle of it's just grog, and then the end is death. Yeah. It's death institutions. It's one of those things where, looking back on it, it's a blessing, it's a miracle. It's one of those things where somebody out there that's struggling with something like this, the most difficult thing you can do is ask for help, but it is by far the strongest thing you can do.
Well, I was actually, my next thing was like, what has that pain or struggle, what have you learned from that more than success? But I think that's a huge thing right there, right? Huge. It's like taking that first step to get that, right? To get that help.
It's part of understanding that that's where my strength is. Yeah. Communicating, right? Yeah. Connecting. Yeah. Because when you're in that state of mind and you're in that disease state of mind, it disconnected me from everything around me. And so understanding like my strength is when I connect with another human being, when I share that with them, and there's power in that. There's a tremendous amount of power. And the other side of it too is that being an alpha male and being able to be vulnerable and share that stuff, that's where my power is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you're gonna say, okay, you're a superhero, what's your power? I go, emotional connection.
Yeah. And that's the heart, and that's the heart of the movie too. And that's the heart of your story, and that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Before I let you go,
like
I mentioned, I'm not a UFC guy.
Yeah.
But my guy Gabe here is. So I promised him I'd have to get him in here to ask you a question about.
All right. Come on down.
I appreciate you. I made it.
Yeah. In one piece, thank God. Hi, Mark. How are you? Thanks for sitting down. So I'm curious. You've been around the sport, not just UFC, the sport, since such an early stage, and you've done it in multiple countries, multiple arenas. Now, looking at where it stands as the UFC, with how polished it is, how technical, teams, gyms getting bigger. I'm just curious your thoughts on this evolution of that sport. Do you think it's like natural, if you're a fan of how it's gone, or you miss kind of the rough around the edges?
I miss a little rough around the edges. I do. It's just one where it's like everything seems like it's narrated and curated and put out there. It doesn't take away from like the elite guys that do it, because it's when you get in there in the octagon, it's not polished, it's not scripted, it is as raw gets, right? Like you want to test yourself or reveal yourself, step into the octagon, right? I mean, because it uncovers all your flaws. It really does. Outside of that, in order for the sport to grow, I always say like this, in order to sell pay-per-view to a housewife in Nebraska, it had to get polished.
I get you. Yeah.
So it's kind of this contrast to like, I'd like to see some guys get in there and just go at it. Like just, dude, you call me a bitch. Okay. All right. Here we go, man. And get after it, because that's what it used to be. I mean, it had this just raw intensity to it. Like you're like, oh my God, I'm going to take a step back. Because sometimes like some of the older fights you look at and go, oh man, it's just nasty. But if you're signing up for it, it's like you're testing your alpha against another guy's alpha.
Yeah, I guess that could be done through many eras, but there is like that big difference now between the production value and obviously what goes on behind the scenes. And so, I just think that evolution is interesting, as well as the one last thing I wanted to ask you was when it comes to just the actual like technicality between the, being stand up on the ground, back and forth. Do you think that the mindset for a fighter has changed in what they should be specializing in, or do you think it's generalization is probably the way to go these days?
Yeah, you know what? This is, and obviously I lean towards wrestling because that's my background, and a couple things. Like I say, the unique thing about a wrestler is that he can take a person and hold them where they don't want to be held for as long as he wants to hold them there, and the other person can't do a fucking thing about it. That defines a wrestler, right? So you look at like an elite striker against a wrestler. Usually that striker, if it's a championship round, the first 2 rounds, the striker usually has the advantage. And then as you get in the 3rd round, you see this kind of paradigm shift, right? Of like the wrestler, now he's in grind mode, right? And he's just gonna grind this person up. Rob, it's like he's gonna grind you up. And you see the transition of like, so you do need still to be well-versed, but you have a tendency to default to what you're best at. Like I would always go, the reason why I was successful is I could turn anybody into a wrestler, and I was a better wrestler than them. So if I fought you in a striker, I'm gonna make you wrestle me. And guess what? I'm better at it, right? Like I wouldn't challenge a striker. I'm going, no. It's just like, why would I want to get kicked and punched in the face?
Somebody else.
Yeah. It's like, I'm just going to make you
them play your game. Yeah, that's very cool.
So you see some strategies that develop out of that where it's like, okay, we just have to get through these first couple rounds because his takedown defense is good. It's, all these other, factors. And then you look at it and go, yeah, default usually goes to the wrestler because the wrestler's that grinder. It's just such a unique ability to be able to control. And I look at it sometimes where you look at a wrestler that makes another person look like they've never trained a day in their lives.
Yeah.
They go, how's he controlling beating that other guy? It's just a unique skill set.
Very cool. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Awesome. Thank you, Gabe. Well, with that, I did want to end it with one thing that you told me before we started. Something that your mother or your grandmother shared a line in Spanish.
So my mom would like when we go see my grandmother in the Bronx, right?
Yeah.
So she said, I don't care. This is the only thing you need to say. So she would say, Yo te amo con todo mi corazón.
I love
you with all my heart.
With all my heart. Yep. That is
Beautiful.
awesome, man. Thank you for joining us. This was awesome. And I'm leaving you with one last thing in Spanish.
Yeah.
Stay tranquilo, stay chill. You let the vibe set in. So now you've got 2 lines.
2 lines. Thank you.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you.